Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. In this tutorial, we're going to learn how to repot some face paints. So if you're a beginner, you would have realized that a lot of face painters have their paints organized in these little compartments in their face painting kit. And the reason why it's great to have it organized this way is that it's so easy to have all of your paints right there. You don't have to be taking the lids off to get to your paints, that they're all open and ready to use, and they're completely accessible for you. What I like to do at my face painting kit, at the end of a job, I like to cover my paints just with a piece of laminated paper, just to keep them nice and safe, because your paints do tend to get dry if you leave them open for elements all the time. I mean, your paints can be in a case, but they can still be susceptible to becoming dry. I have a magenta Global Colours face painting cake here, so I've just bought that from the shop. It's come through. I've used a little bit of it, but on my face painting kit I've run out of this particular color. There are certain colors that you'll use more so as solid color than others. Now you can buy these trays from face painting stores, and they're basically face paint holders for face paint kits. And they're usually about, say, 5 centimeters by 5 centimeters, and they come in little compartments. Okay, so I'll grab my face painting cake, and what I'm going to need is a butter knife and a teaspoon. Cut off the outer with the butter knife of this face painting cake. So I just want to push this butter knife to the outer and the edge of this cake as I can get. So I want to get all of that paint. So I'm just going to twist the cake as I'm cutting through. Now every brand is going to have a different consistency. So this is Global Colours, and this it's every paint is different. Like for instance, these neon colors for some reason are a little bit rubbery than others, so they're not all going to be the same. So when you're starting off face painting and you're getting your kit sorted out, not all of the colors are going to have the same consistency and texture. They're all going to be different. Okay, so once I have detached the edges to the edge of the cake, what I'm going to do is grab my butter knife, and I'm just going to try to go underneath. So there I have it. So I'm just going to try to dig that out like that. And there I have most of the cake taken out. Doesn't matter if it splits or if it breaks, that's absolutely fine. We can work with that. That's why you need your spoon, so you can press it down. I'm just going to lay that on the base of that cake, and I'm going to, because I've still got some magenta here on my cake that I've used. Now this paint is probably about 6 months old. You don't want your paints to be too old, so you want to make sure that your paints, I think face paints have a lifespan of, I think, 18 months. So what I want to do here is just dig out the older face paint from down the bottom, and what I want to do is just bring it up to the top of that. So dig it all out, and just bring it to the top. So now what I'll do is I'm just going to put that paint onto that piece, and what I normally do is I normally just cut a square out from the circle, and then I just push it all in. So cutting that right out, and now that it's all in there, with my, this is where I get my spoon. What I'm going to aim to do is just press it right down to the base of that tray and try to press it flat so you've got a solid, constant, solid block of colour all the way through to the base of that tray. There we go. So we want the top of that to be nice and flat up the top. So you're going to use your spoon, sort of like a spatula, and try to make it as flat as possible up the top so you have a nice even surface to put your brush over. And there we've just transferred the magenta onto the tray. Now using a baby wipe, you can just clean the edges off, just so it looks nice and clean when you arrive to a job and your paints don't look really messy. And there we have it. We're ready to paint with this really beautiful magenta colour. I normally keep these containers, and I would recommend that you do too, because as you buy new paints, once you're going through your paints and you buy new ones, you can also make your own split cakes and rainbow cakes out of these same containers. So say if we still had that magenta, we would cut that just to about there, and then from another pot you can cut a section this long to go in the middle, and then with another color you can also cut another section along there and then place them in nicely. Thanks for watching. If you got something out of this, make sure that you give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. If you have any face painting related questions or you need something that you need clarified, make sure you comment down below and I'll do my absolute best to share my knowledge with you in the next video. I'm on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. Don't forget to follow me so we don't miss each other for the next one. Until next time, happy painting.